was guilty for the death of herself. Aeneas is innocent for doing nothing at all. On Aeneas' quest from fallen Troy to Italy, Juno calls out to Aeolus, telling him that there is people she hates sailing in the Tyrrhenian Sea. She asks him to create a storm that will wreck their ship and blow them off course, scattering their bodies throughout the sea, never to be found. This shows that he did not purposely land on the shores of Carthage to woo Dido and steal her heart. However, he was blown off course thanks to Juno. Aeneas never planned on stopping in Carthage or hell, ever even meeting Dido. Unfortunately, he was blown off course, as I mentioned earlier, thanks to Juno. Dido welcomed Aeneas and his men with open arms. This was before she was struck with the so-called poisonous arrow. She also immediately took note of Aeneas' sexy appearance, already checking out other men when she is supposed to be grieving over the death of Psychaeus, who was killed by her brother Pygmalion. Sounds a bit fishy to me, Dido. This shows that Dido had the chance to turn Aeneas and his men away. However, by saying all of this, she welcomed them with open arms and made them feel at home. If she did not say any of this, she would have never fallen in love with Aeneas, and therefore would never have died. How can you blame Aeneas for being welcomed into a kingdom by a lady he doesn't even know? In reading this quote from Book 1, one may notice that Dido immediately recognizes Aeneas' devilishly handsome looks. Wait a minute, isn't this before she was shot with the love arrow? Therefore, she was checking Aeneas out before the poisonous arrow. Aeneas did absolutely nothing to woo her, and she's already flirting with him. How can you blame Aeneas? Another reason Aeneas was innocent is because he tried to keep from Dido that he was leaving for as long as possible in order not to hurt her feelings. Aeneas never told her that they were married or even in a strong relationship. All of these thoughts were strictly Dido's. Aeneas knows that he has to leave and continue to Italy at some point, especially because of pressure from his men. He was just waiting for the right time to do it in order not to hurt Dido.
What do you gotta think about, huh?
One quite obvious reason Dido is guilty for her own death is because she stabbed herself at the funeral pyre with Aeneas' sword and took her own life. This quote from Book 4 takes place when Dido kills herself. It reads, "She had spoken, and in the midst of these words, her servant saw she had fallen on the blade. The sword frothed with blood, and her hands were stained." Another reason Dido is guilty is because she wasn't forced to listen to Anna in telling her to let Aeneas stay. She chose to. This quote shows that Dido tricked Anna into building the funeral pyre in order to kill herself. She told her that she was going to burn all of Aeneas' things to get over him. However, she never mentioned that she planned on killing herself there. Based on the information provided, the death of Dido was Dido and only Dido's fault, and was completely preventable. So long.